John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. What we're going to do today is an episode that actually I've been getting a lot of requests for over email and through YouTube and all these different things. John, do you guys sell the Skg Juicer and what do you think about it? So at this time we do not presently sell the Skg Juicer, but I will be doing a review for you guys, for all you guys that are interested on my opinions on the Skg Juicer. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and review the Skg 2088. This is the big caliber Skg Juicer. That's a slow juicer, vertical single auger. Now I got two different boxes on the table here today, and one is the Skg big caliper juicer and the other is the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. And one of these juicers came first, and one of them, in my opinion, I would call a knockoff. So the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is the original juicer with a 3-inch wide feed chute. It came out first, and then later the Skg Juicer came out. Now the first distinction I want to share is where these machines are made. The Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer was designed and invented and made in Korea, and the Skg Juicer is made in China. So that's the first thing. In my opinion, things from Korea are much higher quality in general over things made in China, and that's just my personal opinion on that. Next thing I want to do is actually share with you guys the boxes, because this is actually quite interesting. As I said, the Kuvings is the first whole slow juicer with 3-inch wide feed chute. They have a patented technology, and if we're looking at the box on the side there, we'll kind of get it close up for you guys. And we're going to go ahead and turn this side of the box around for you guys as well. Now check this out, right? The Kuvings was first, and then the Skg came out. And look at this. Look at what I noticed. These pictures here, right, of the juice in the glass and the juice in the glass, they look identical. It almost looks like they scanned it off the box because it's got like the black around it. And then they put it on this box, which is kind of insane. And then they have the same kind of thing. Cutting high-speed juice extractors and Skg big caliper slow juicer, and it's like the noise, and like look at the little graphics on here, right? The graphics on here are like the same. So like Skg literally knocked off and even maybe potentially used the same graphics off the box, and in addition, they got the same colored juices on the bottom, and they got the same colored juices on the bottom, man. So what gives, man? I don't exactly know if Skg came up with this stuff. This is just my, best guess that they look pretty similar. If they're pretty similar, they probably are. So if they're copying the graphics on the box, maybe they just copied the juicer, right? Maybe it works as good, or maybe it doesn't work as good. That's what we're gonna find out in this episode. So the next thing I want to do is actually go ahead and take off the boxes, and we're going to bring in the juicers. Alright, so now I got a couple juicers on the table, and you're probably thinking to yourself, John, wait a second, you're comparing two juicers. How come there's 3 juicers on the table? Yes, I can count. It's amazing. I went to college. Anyways, we got 3 juicers on the table. We got 2 on this side and 1 on this side, but only one is the original whole slow juicer that has patents and is made in Korea, and it's this guy. This is the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, and this is the one that I just introduced, the Skg Juicer, and this is another brand of juicer that I got probably half a year ago that I did testing with, and it didn't perform as well as the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer in my testing, and it looks pretty much similar to the Skg. So, I don't know who makes what juicer or what, but these two machines look like they're being even made in the same factory. If we kind of like take these guys apart, we can see there's basically some similarities. I mean, there's already a similarity in how they look, but these parts look pretty much almost identical. Next, taking a look at these augers here. These augers, if you look at them, I mean, they're pretty much identical. Also, these the juicing screens, one is a different color, but they look pretty much identical to me. And then even these wiping blades, I mean, if these wiping blades are pretty much identical. I mean, they're like the same. So I mean, Oh, and yeah, you can take a look at inside here too. The gaskets are the same color, the spinner blade's the same, it's the same shape. Yeah, these housings look the same. So basically, whether you get an SKG or another one that pretty much looks like it, it's probably made in the same factory over in China. And, you know, they probably work about the same, right? And we'll be talking about that in a minute. Next, I want to talk about the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer and what kind of sets it apart. I mean, number one, they have the patent on it right here. Also, this one's a little bit, you know, shorter. Also, this auger is a little bit different design than the Skg. Maybe they thought they could change a few things so that they wouldn't infringe on any patents. Although I believe they do probably infringe on some patents because they didn't change it significantly enough, and it still has that main feed chute. One of the things I don't like about the Skg is that actually it goes up underneath, whereas the Kuvings does not. So this means it's going to be harder to get in there to clean. Also, the pieces just seem a lot more substantial on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. They seem like a little bit heavier to me. And also the hole size, it's a little bit smaller on the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, which means you'll probably get less pulp in your juice. Finally, this wiping blade, I mean, this just seems like a really inexpensive part. And the Kuvings wiping blade seems a little bit more durable. You know, just kind of holding it. Also, kind of have like, it looks a bit cooler with the holes in there instead of these solid things. And this doesn't even look like it really could even hit the outside. I mean, the reason for this outside wiping blade is so that it actually hits the outside of the bowl, so it wipes it down. But this wiping blade on the outside doesn't even hit the outside of the bowl. Maybe they did that so that it's like, oh, ours is different because it doesn't wipe the outside of the bowl. It's different than yours, but it also wipes the inside. And theirs actually has a thing, just like the Kuvings, that does wipe the bottom of the bowl and gets the juice out. Next, of course, is the main body. And this is where it's fairly significantly different. On the original Kuvings, you know, you could get in there really easily to clean it out. And on this, there's basically a little thing in the middle that's higher, and it makes it harder to get in there to clean. In addition, this little spinner thing in here is looks like maybe some less expensive plastic and not like improved nylon like they have on the Kuvings. Plus, you know, the plug that comes out here is a really nice heavy-duty silicone plug. And the first time I used this machine over here, actually I broke the little standoff piece that holds it in place. And it's also a less expensive kind of plastic and silicone, in my opinion. On the other major thing that kind of irks me is, you know, the Kuvings has the original stopper right here. If you guys could look at that, it's 100% silicone on here. And if we look at one of the stoppers on these machines, and they actually are both similar, if we look at the stoppers on there, you'll see there's like, you know, there's silicone, but in the middle there's a little screw, and that's that screw holds in the silicone gasket on there. And when you put this down, the screw is exposed to the juice. And to me, this screw doesn't look like it's stainless steel, so what that means is that it may rust over time, and then you'll get rust in your juice, which is not a good thing. So I really like that, you know, Kuvings actually doesn't have that screw in the middle. That's just a really, maybe not the best design in my opinion. So yeah, those are the main differences between these machines. Another main difference is the warranty. So the warranty on the Kuvings is a 10 full year warranty by the Kuvings company that has been in business in the United States for many years now, and had been in business in Korea for over 30 years. And the Skg is warranted by the Skg in the USA, and I have no idea how long they've been in business. You know, they make a variety of different appliances, from massagers and even, you know, chargers to charge your iPhone, whereas Kuvings, you know, that company specializes in kitchen appliances predominantly. Oh, and let's talk about, so if the company goes out of business, right, in the US, then you're not going to have a warranty. You won't be able to get parts. And if there's, say, for example, there's some kind of lawsuit for patent, and then the company is no longer able to sell the machine, and you buy the machine, then you won't be able to get any parts either. And I kind of am curious if Kuvings is actually going to do some kind of patent, you know, infringement thing with the knockoff machines, because I know they have several patents on the machine myself. Now the warranty, that's critical. The Kuvings, as I said, is a 10-year warranty, and the Skg on a popular website that's selling them says that it has a 10-year motor warranty and a 5-year warranty on all the other parts, which some of the parts look kind of inexpensive, so it's good that those parts are warranted. The challenge is once you get the warranty card that comes with the Skg, it says on here, this limited warranty covers defects in materials and workmanship in this product. This limited warranty does not cover any damages from alteration, misuse, accident, and neglect. This limited warranty lasts for 2 years from the date of purchase of this product, and it's just right on there, 2 years. And so that's kind of a little bit concerning to me. You know, it's advertised as one thing, and then you get the machine, and the warranty card says something else. And also, this is a serial number is like whatever 0058. So I don't know if they've actually sold a lot of these. You know, the reason why I'm probably getting a lot of inquiries on this machine is because, you know, some of the reviews on some online retailers say that this machine is very good, and, you know, in my opinion, a lot of people doing the reviews get free samples to do the reviews, and then also that's like their job is to do reviews. They're like a top 500 reviewer, and they just review things all day long, and if you get free stuff, you're probably going to give a good review. And the other thing is that they're not, you know, experts in juicing and juicers. I use my juicer, you know, pretty much every day if I'm around home and not traveling, sometimes multiple times a day. So I test all the major brands of juicers, so I know all about them. And based on the testing of this machine, you know, it didn't quite work as well as the Kuvings. Things kind of got stuck up, and it just was creaky. I mean, basically, you guys get what you pay for, and the sad thing about this is the Skg is currently maybe about $100 less than the Kuvings. And if you wait to the end of this video, I'll give you a coupon code to save even more. So if you are considering this one, I would highly encourage you guys to get the Kuvings, which is the, you know, the original, you know, and this is just simply a knockoff with a shorter warranty. You know, in addition, another thing that's really interesting to me is the plug, the Skg, as well as this other model. You know, doesn't have a 3-prong plug, and the Kuvings over here actually has a nice 3-prong plug with the ground. So this may, you know, be beneficial because the ground is there, so that there's a lesser chance of getting shock from the electrical appliance. Furthermore, on the Kuvings here, you can see the on and off switch. It's wrapped in a silicone, so there's no chance of potentially getting shocked if there's some kind of electrical short. On the original one here, this also has silicone, but the Skg actually does not have that silicone, you know, protection on there. So if like water or juice gets down there, you know, that may be potentially hazardous. So yeah, that's pretty much about all these guys that I could think of, all the main differences. Next, what I want to get into is actually go ahead and be juicing in the Skg to show you guys how it does and give you my opinions on it. So now I'm ready to juice in the Skg Juicer to share with you guys how it works. Today we'll be juicing a few common and one uncommon ingredient. We'll be juicing the carrots. Carrot juice is a really popular juice. It's high in beta-carotene, which is really good for you. They say it could, you know, help you to see better. Next, of course, we have one nice large beet. And you know what they're saying about beets? It can improve your athletic performance, and that's really cool. And so we're going to juice one large beet. This happens to be a yellow beet instead of that red beet. And the last ingredient we have is these guys right here. And a lot of you guys are, John, what the heck is that? This is known as jicama. Jicama is predominantly used in you know, ethnic cuisine such as Latin cuisine. And it's a tropical tuberous root vegetable. How you're going to use this is you're going to want to peel it first. You don't want to juice the skin on that guy. So what I've gone ahead and done is I went ahead and peeled the whole jicama here. It's a nice root vegetable, and it's a really mild flavor. So this is good just to like get nice watery consistency, and it's just really delicious. It's kind of a tad bit sweet, but really, really, really good. So yeah, let's see how all this stuff juices in the Skg. So first step, we're going to go ahead and turn this on. We're going to juice the easiest thing first, the carrots. We're just going to go ahead and drop a carrot in there and see how it juices. So as you guys can see, it's literally auto-feeding itself, so I do like that a lot. It's crushing it up, grinding it out. As you guys can see, the pulp is coming out on this side, and we're getting the juice to flow out on that side. Let's go ahead and juice a couple more carrots and see how it does. Next, let's go ahead and juice some of the beets. So this beet is a nice large beet, and even though it has a 3-inch wide feed chute, this beet is still not fitting in there, so we're going to have to cut it up. So, you know, most juicers you will have to pre-cut your produce to put in, even if it does have a large feed chute. You know, things like leafy greens, I do recommend pre-cutting. Even if you could just shove it in a vertical slow juicer, it's always going to work a little bit better. We got a nice big piece of beet here. Let's go ahead and drop that in. And it's crunching it on up and juicing it on up. You might notice a little bit of noise on there. Oh man, some groaning noise. It doesn't sound too good to me, but nonetheless, it's still working. Next, let's go ahead and juice some of that jicama. Once again, this jicama is so large, it's not going to fit in there either. So we're just going to go ahead and cut up this jicama into smaller pieces. It's a nice softer consistency than, say, a carrot. We're just going to go ahead and drop that guy in there. And it looks like it's doing a fairly good job at that. All the juice is coming out, and we're just juicing one piece at a time. Now, this juicer, whoa, that's a pretty hardcore noise. I don't really like that too much. You know, other juicers may make some kind of noises, but that's a pretty loud noise there. But overall, it looks like this juicer's juicing fairly well, these ingredients. Alright, so last carrot in the Skg Juicer. Looks like we filled up our catch cup all the way. Before it overflows, we're going to go ahead and put this lid spout down so we can catch the juice inside the machine. Now the one thing I want to say is actually this machine, it juiced fairly well. Like all the pulp came out. The pulp seemed actually kind of dry. You know, the one thing I will say, unlike the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, that this does seem to have a lot of residual excess pulp trapped at the top where the Kuvings gets more pulp in, although the Kuvings will leave a little bit, but this left a lot more. Let's go try and tamp this down to get it juiced, because if you're leaving, you know, unjuiced pulp in the machine, that means you're not going to get as much yield as you possibly could. This machine was also a little bit louder than other juicers of its kind that I've tested. But I'm actually kind of impressed. The pulp is actually fairly dry. Now, the next thing that's really important to me to share with you guys is actually how much pulp is actually in the juice, right? I know a lot of you guys don't like pulp in juice, me being one of them. So we're just going to go ahead and take a strainer, and we're going to go ahead and strain out our juice to see how much pulp the Skg Juicer put in the juice. Now, I always encourage you guys to let the juicer run until the pulp stops flowing out of the machine. It looks like it stopped, so we're going to go ahead and now turn that off. So let's go ahead and take this pitcher here and carefully, without spilling, pour it through our sieve and strain our juice out. All right. Wow. This is definitely telling here. I don't know if you guys could see that on the camera, but I'm pouring all this out, and even in the bottom of the catch container, there's still significant amounts of pulp just in there. I mean, this is more than any other vertical slow juicer I've tested. Let's go ahead and shake this guy out and get all our pulp-free juice out. Alright, look at that. Whoa! Alright. So now we have this much pulp left, and we're going to go ahead and flip that out. Look at that, man. That is definitely a lot of pulp. So this machine generated more pulp in the juice than most other juicers I've tested to date. So, you know, that could be a pro or con. Maybe you like pulp in your juice. Maybe you don't. If you don't, this is probably not the juicer for you. I also want to say this juicer does not include a strainer, so you will have to buy one of those separately. Finally, I want to go ahead and taste the juice. So let's go ahead and pour it out. Now that we strained it, we have a nice crystal clear, smooth consistency. You know, I do want to say that this machine was actually fairly good on yield. I thought it made quite a good yield, and the pulp is dry. Although, you know, there was a lot of pulp in there. That's definitely a good juice. Tastes quite good. Now my final comments are on the Skg Juicer is that it did work fairly well. It was a little bit noisy. You know, it put a lot of pulp in the juice. And the other thing I'm concerned about is that, you know, it only has a short warranty. So I don't know if that's 2 years like the paperwork that comes with it, or maybe 10 years on the motor and 5 years on the other parts. It seemed kind of maybe inexpensively made. And as I said, on the other machine that looked just like this one, the first time I was using it and cleaning it, I actually broke off you know, the little holder that holds the silicone pulp flap in the machine. Of course, this machine is lower quality than the Kuvings that's made in Korea. This is made in China. You know, I mean, in summary, this is it pretty much. You guys get what you pay for, right? If you want to get a Mercedes and you're buying a Hyundai or something like that, you know, they're not equivalent, right? If you want to get the Cadillac, you probably, and you want a large feed chute, you want to get the Kuvings, you know, and if you don't got that much money, then you might want to get this because it seems to work pretty well, but I am concerned about the long-term use, you know, if it will be durable and the warranty. Now, the other thing I failed to mention earlier is that this machine is only rated, according to the manufacturer, for maybe a 10 to 20 minute duty cycle. What's a duty cycle? Duty cycle means how long you could be juicing with the machine before you should shut it off and turn it off, or the motor may overheat. The other machine that you saw earlier that looked like this one in the instruction manual says it has a 5-minute duty cycle. You know, and I've run the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer for literally an hour at a time, and I've seen them run the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer at the trade show, you know, for the whole day without any interruption. Yes, it gets really warm, but it doesn't blow anything out. So this is what you're going to get when you get and pay more for a higher quality machine. And, you know, other than that, I could definitely recommend you guys get the proper machine for you. And if it was me, I would say this: I would spend $100 more and get the real Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer instead of the knockoff that will have a guaranteed longer warranty on the entire machine and also be supported in the future. The other thing you guys might want to do is check out some of the other vertical auger juicers, even if they don't have a wide feed chute. You know, some of them in performance-wise will be better than the Skg based on my testing. Now, the final thing I like to say is if you are considering a wide feed chute vertical slow juicer and you want to get a Kuvings, you can use the discount coupon code weight loss on our website, discountjuicers.com, to get an additional $20 off to make it even more closer in price to the Skg, but get the real machine instead of the knockoff. If you guys enjoyed this episode, I would encourage you to support me and my work by making your juicer purchase at discountjuicers.com. That allows me to make videos like this and videos online where I teach people about eating more fruits and vegetables and even how to grow them. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes. I'm coming out every maybe 5 to 7 days. I'll be testing new juicers, comparing different juicers. You never know what you'll be learning when you watch my show. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. I have over 400 episodes on this channel comparing all different kinds of juicers to each other so that you can purchase the right juicer for you the first time and not get stuck with a lemon. Final thing I like to say is be sure to like this video and give me a thumbs up to let me know. I'll continue to do juicer reviews in the future if you like this and you let me know about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. What we're going to do today is show you my pick for the best all-purpose juicer for beginners. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there may have never juiced before and you're looking at my videos to try to figure out the best juicer for you, and keep on watching because I have over 400 videos on this YouTube channel.